down by the riverside, down by the riverside.
And never let anybody say, boy, you can't make it, 'cause some people...
What if I told you there were songs from the 1960s that were more dangerous than bombs? And just as loud? Yep, before hashtags, before live streams, before influencers were busy raising awareness from their jacuzzis, there were musicians. And these artists weren't here to smile for the camera, they were out here setting the world on fire, one chord at a time. The best part? These protest songs still slap, they still sting, and they still tell the truth in a way that politicians can't or won't.
He knows about Mississippi, Goddam.
So grab your headphones, maybe pour a little something strong, and let's take a trip through 10 protest songs from the 60s that didn't make the usual lists, but absolutely deserve your attention. And trust me, if you think protest music is just angry yelling, oh, we've got surprises ready to feel something. Let's go. 1. Compared to what? Les McCann and Eddie Harris.
God damn it! Trying to make it real compared to what?
Imagine jazz and funk had a baby, and then that baby grew up furious at the government. That's this song. The president, he's got his war. Folks don't know just what it's for.
The president's got his war. We don't know what the hell it's for.
Boom, first line, no hesitation. Les McCann and Eddie Harris turned a live jazz performance into a sermon of frustration. And here's the kicker. It wasn't some underground punk gig. It was the Montreux Jazz Festival. Swanky, international, classy. And then bam, this track bursts out of the speakers with funky bass lines and lyrics dripping with sarcasm and side-eye. You ever hear a saxophone groan like it's fed up with Washington? You have now. When's the last time a jazz tune made you want to throw a brick at your TV? 2. Down by the Riverside. Lead Belly.
Down by the riverside, down by the riverside.
Okay, this one goes way back, but the 1960s civil rights movement made it new again. Lead Belly's version of this old spiritual turned into a full-blown peace anthem. I ain't gonna study war no more. Catchy, right? Sounds almost gentle.
I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study.
Until you realize it was being sung by black protesters facing down police dogs and water cannons. The message was simple. We're done. Done with violence, done with hate, done with a system that never loved us back. Think about that next time this tune sneaks up in a movie or commercial. It wasn't always background music. Once upon a time, it was the backbone of bravery. Be honest. Do you sing along when this comes on, Asai? Or do you feel like saluting something? 3. Draft Morning, the Byrds. Most folks know the Byrds for jangle pop like Turn, Turn, Turn. But Draft Morning? That one hits different. It starts dreamy, psychedelic. Then suddenly, gunfire, screaming, chaos. Welcome to Vietnam. He sleeps with a gun and he wakes in the morning. That line alone tells you everything. This isn't a song about war, it's a song inside war. And unlike Fortunate Son, which screamed in your face, this one whispers while showing you the nightmares. A protest song in disguise, the softest sledgehammer you've ever heard. Would TikTok survive the draft? Just saying. 4. It's Good News Week. Hedgehoppers Anonymous.
It's Good News Week.
Ever hear a protest song so cheery it makes your skin crawl? Enter It's Good News Week. A bouncy British invasion track that sounds like it should be playing during a toothpaste commercial, until you catch the lyrics. Someone's found a way to give the rotting dead a will to live.
Someone found a way to give the rotting dead a will to live.
Wait, what? This song is straight up dark satire, mocking how the media spins disasters into light entertainment. Think of it as the 1965 version of doom-scrolling, except set to an annoyingly happy melody. It's fun, it's freaky, and it still hits hard in an era where headlines feel like a dystopian novel with a punchline. When did the news become a circus? Oh right, always. 5. Fixin' to Die Rag, Country Joe and the Fish.
All of you big strong men, Uncle Sam, need your help again.
You want sarcasm? Oh, this one practically bleeds it. And it's 1, 2, 3. What are we fighting for? Don't ask me, I don't give a damn. A Vietnam War protest anthem disguised as a campfire sing-along. You could almost imagine your drunk uncle singing this at a barbecue, right before ranting about taxes. Country Joe McDonald wasn't just protesting the war, he was mocking it, trashing it, reducing it to absurdity with the same glee a teenager uses to roast their school principal. The track became a staple at anti-war rallies, festivals, and draft dodger playlists. And the best part? Even people who supported the war couldn't help tapping their foot to it. Raise your hand if sarcasm is your love language. Just me? Cool. 6. The revolution will not be televised. Gil Scott-Heron.
Because the revolution will not be televised.
Technically a spoken word piece with jazz, but who needs categories when you've got truth? The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox, Anheim, in 4 parts without commercial interruptions.
The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution...
Gil Scott-Heron ripped into consumerism, racism, fake news, and everything in between, decades before Twitter tried it. This isn't a protest song, it's a prophecy, a warning, a slap in the face of anyone hoping the world will change while they sit on the couch. And let's be real, today's media circus? Gil called it before cable TV existed. What would Gil say about Instagram Reels? Actually, don't answer that. It's too depressing. 7. I Ain't Marching Anymore. Phil Ochs.
But I ain't marching anymore.
Phil Ochs never got the same love as Dylan, but trust me, this dude was spitting fire. It's always the old to lead us to the war. It's always the young to fall.
It's always the old to lead us to the wars. Always.
Mic drop? He wasn't being poetic. He was being blunt, brutal, honest. This wasn't a song about peace. It was a refusal, a resignation, an act of defiance in 2 minutes flat. And the sad part? He meant every word. Phil later struggled with depression and disillusionment. Like so many activists, the weight of the world crushed him. But this song, it still stands tall. Ever feel like you've been marching your whole life for stuff you didn't sign up for? 8. Is there anybody here? Phil Ochs.
Is there anybody here?
Yes, we're doing 2 Phil Ochs tracks. Fight me. Is there anybody here who'd like to lend a hand to fight a war that's over land?
Is there anybody here?
Soft piano, haunting vocals, and questions that feel way too familiar. This song doesn't shout. It stares you dead in the eye and waits. It's that moment in the mirror when you ask yourself, why are we still doing this? Why are we still burying teenagers for political games? Not enough songs are brave enough to whisper. This one does, and it hits like a gut punch. Ever wonder if the quietest voices are the ones worth listening to? 9. Mississippi Goddam, Nina Simone.
About Mississippi, goddamn.
Nina Simone didn't ease into protest music. She kicked down the door. Alabama's gotten me so upset, Tennessee made me lose my rest.
Alabama's got me so upset. Tennessee made me lose my rest.
And then, Mississippi, goddamn! She wrote it in rage after the 1963 church bombing in Birmingham and the assassination of Medgar Evers. And let me tell you, it doesn't just burn, it erupts. This song wasn't accepted politely. It was banned, boycotted. Radio stations broke the record in half. But Nina, she didn't care. She had the guts to say what polite society wouldn't. Have you ever been so mad you turned your pain into poetry? Nina did, and we're still not ready. 10. We're a Winner. The Impressions.
And we're a winner. And everybody knows the truth. Let's keep on.
Finally, a protest song that doesn't just protest, it celebrates. Curtis Mayfield's We're a Winner was an anthem of pride for the Black community, years before mainstream media wanted to hear about empowerment. We're a winner. And never let anybody say, boy, you can't make it.
And never let anybody say, boy, you can't make it. 'Cause some people...
This was uplift, joy, resistance through self-love. The song was so powerful, some radio stations refused to play it. Because what's scarier than angry protest? Proud people who know their worth. Even today, this track feels like a shot of adrenaline for your soul. When was the last time a protest song made you want to dance? So there you have it. 10 protest songs from the 1960s that still hit harder than half the stuff on your playlist. And they're not just dusty relics from a groovier time. These songs are alive, angry, beautiful, brave. They questioned the system when it was risky. They laughed when things got too serious. They whispered truths we still don't want to face. And more importantly, they still matter. Because here's the secret. Protest songs aren't about the past. They're about right now. Every time you hit play, you're not just revisiting history, you're rewriting it. So tell me, what's your protest song? What track made you feel something you didn't expect? Drop it in the comments. I want to hear your stories, your memories, your rebellion. Like, share, subscribe. Because in a world that keeps trying to silence us, music speaks louder than ever. And remember, when everything feels broken, out of control, and upside down, turn it up. Way up.